Hey everybody, it is me, SuperPaulGames. Welcome back to the adventures of Anton Rayne. Last time we had to sadly disappoint our wife, and I don't mean in the bedroom. Let's see what's going on up in England. Ooh, a briefing on how the highway construction issues. The H3 highway construction created a second opportunity to visit the seaside town of Lincoln, known for its salmon. Thousands of people from the city were employed for construction work by the new highway project. But the main purpose of our visit was to resolve the strike that began to endanger the deadline. The mayor welcomed us into his own mansion and took us on a brief tour in the city. We gathered... I guess these guys are okay. We gathered at the city hall. Simon looked a little worried, but Lilius was dead serious. When is she ever anything but? She's never fun. She's at least not Sierra. There's also a message of support from the mayor of Arvery, Eric Neal, who was grateful for the H3 investments. Look, I just want to know, are you going to try and make me spend more money? Because we ain't got money, but we got to get this highway done. This is a key part of our energy infrastructure investment plan. You kind of got us over a barrel. Not that I'm going to start with that, saying that with any kind of negotiation plan. After dinner, we moved to a meeting room. Simon began.
Taurus Holding has reached out to us and requested more funds.
I knew it! I knew it!
As per the report they have sent, to finish the highway on time, they realized more capital is necessary due to new labor laws. We scheduled the construction to finish sooner, but Taurus might miss that target with the current trajectory.
This is unacceptable! I should have known that a cheaper offer wasn't technically possible. We wouldn't have this issue if you decided to go with SSC instead of Taurus. Didn't SSCs charge more anyway? I swear they charged more to begin with anyway, number one. Number two, we have changed labor laws since we signed the deal with Taurus. Not that I want to give them a break. Now they're requesting more funds to be able to cover the increased cost. If we don't provide, we could face a delay which would endanger our reputation. Why do they even need the extra money, Simon?
They need it for unseen expenses that came from the new workers' rights bill. A couple of shipment companies they had contract with also increased costs on the necessary materials.
How is that our problem? How is that our problem? We signed a deal with them. It doesn't matter if we sign the new workers' right bill. We made a contract with them. The state must have more control over these construction projects. For the next project, we should appoint a direct manager from the cabinet, like you. One thing for certain, our administration must avoid working with Taurus in the future and opt for safe choices like SSC. Mistakes happen in any project. Maybe, but we could have avoided this issue. There were warning signs around Taurus all along. Will we sink our money into this or let them figure it out?
What is your decision, Mr. President?
We don't have the funds to spare. I'm not going into debt because they can't get their shit together. Get the damn roads done or deal with us being unhappy.
This will most likely cause a delay, but Taurus Holding will be informed immediately.
I have no expectation of hitting that opening deadline at this point. Well, that's possible. It gets done late as long as it gets done on budget.
Regardless, the decision is made. Well then, thank you for coming. That is all on this matter.
If we had the money, I would probably have ponied up, but... thank you, everybody. Simon nodded, and we left the meeting room. Well, that's going to have repercussions. Now that the highway thing is delayed... If I do remember correctly, though, SSC was going to charge us more money. So we would have been in the same situation anyway, but... Let's read about downsizing at Gassam. A significant shift in workforce dynamics has been announced at Gassam's Lockhaven branch. In a strategic move, the energy company has declared its plan for downsizing. While this action aims at boosting the operational efficiency of the organization, it has created an atmosphere of uncertainty amongst the existing workforce. The effects of this decision on the local economy and Gassam's future course of action are being keenly observed. Well, that's not a surprise. discussing changes to the national tax system. I'd say all these meetings are taxing. We were at the top floor of the Business Council building, which had a great view of the beautiful Lock Haven. I looked outside from the tall glass windows. The Marquian Sea stretched as far as the eye could see, and it was dotted with many ships towards the horizon. They were mostly cargo ships, cargo ware, carrying precious goods in and out of Sordland. Tracing back the paths of the ships, I looked at the harbor. Lock Haven was home to one of the largest harbors in the entire continent. Many dockyard workers were loading or unloading containers. Work never stopped here. The door opened. Simon, Mikhail, and Edith entered the meeting room.
Mr. President?
Yes, Simon?
Mr. President, so nice to see you again.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
It's great to see you all. Simon put down his bag on the table and started collecting his documents while the others slowly took their seats.
Mr. President, before we start, I would like to mention some rumors I heard.
Oh my god.
The Workers' Right Act did not sit well with many business holders.
That's not a rumor. That's a fact.
Especially the first section about a minimum wage.
Yeah, like I care. Get the fuck over it.
I heard the same thing. This has caused these businesses to lose millions of rands just overnight.
They didn't lose them. They had to pay them to their employees so they could pay them a fair wage.
Unfortunately, really, especially during a recession.
Woman, a rich company sitting on that isn't going to use that. You put it in the hands of a poor person, they're going to spend it. That boosts spending. I could say it's unfortunate this bill was enacted this late. I believe it, but that's not what I'm going to say. I could say, you're no position to question me. I'm going to be straight to their face. Look, bitches, I don't care about no rumors. If anyone wants to say something, they can say it to me directly. Neither of them responded. That's what I motherfucking thought. Sit down, shut up. Simon waited patiently. Well, once everyone was ready, he adjusted his glasses.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone here for our work on our tax system reform.
This better not be tax cuts for the rich, because I'm just going to tell you no. Do not waste my motherfucking time.
We all know how complicated our current system is, and this work wouldn't be possible without you.
He turned to me.
The ultimate goal here is to end the recession. Before we move ahead and start formulating a plan, we need you to determine our direction, Mr. President. We have a few possibilities as a result of the work we have done so far. We can increase, maintain, or decrease the taxes for large corporations. I believe some of us in the room have a few strong opinions about this.
Oh my god, this is one of these meetings I don't need to be here for.
In parallel, we can increase, maintain, or decrease taxes for small and medium businesses. Let's start with the large corporations, and we'll move on to the small businesses.
I'm just going to move right to this. Is there any downside to keeping things as they are? They're not going to like it. They want their rich cronies to get tax breaks.
I am of the opinion that if we don't make any changes, nothing will change. To stop the recession, we need to do something.
I think so too.
Agreed.
What's the outcome if I increase taxes on the big corporations? You don't expect that, do you?
It's not an option at this point. Our economy's in shambles. Taking what's remaining for businesses will destroy the economy further.
We could balance it by decreasing taxes of small businesses to put relief on them. Sounds like something you would hate.
I see. I'm not sure if that's a good idea with the current state of the economy.
I do believe that there is one way to get out of the recession. It's through trade and the economic contribution of large corporations. Increasing their taxes will turn them on you.
Usually, and I'm a little biased because I'm an American, usually it's small businesses that drive more job growth.
I will go a step further. Increasing their taxes will have disastrous results, and it will make you an enemy of them. Trust me, Mr. President, no one wants to make an enemy of them.
And I've made friends with the rich people how? I've told Tusk to go fuck himself multiple times. When Ewald Alfonso came here and said, bail out my big company, I said, go bail your own ass out. I guess it goes both ways, Mr. Avon. It would be a shame if they made an enemy of me.
Of course, of course.
What does everyone think we should do?
I don't think we can do anything at this point, although I would have preferred a decrease in taxes. It doesn't seem to be the best options.
Did you change your mind, Simon? Not that long ago, I thought you were lobbying for us to decrease the taxes on the big corporations. Our international trade is driven mostly by products of these corporations. They're the backbone of our economy.
Exactly. An increase should be out of the question. These companies are the backbone of our economy and our way out of the recession.
And what if we do decrease the taxes for large corporations?
Our government budget will be hit, but in return, due to the sheer size of the economic contribution coming from these companies, it should be helpful in curbing the recession. I do think this is definitely a good option if you want to end the recession.
Oh, so you do want tax breaks?
Especially with the current state of our budget.
I think it's a viable idea. Upsetting the existing balance might be less than ideal.
Me too. You would have the group on your good side, on top of solving the recession crisis, Mr. President.
Did your kid do anything cool recently, Mikhail? You know what? They better try and stay on my good side. I am ready to make a decision.
Very well, Mr. President. We want to ensure the economy is on a balanced track, as further destabilization may have drastic consequences.
Okay, so we can be a dickhead, lower taxes for big corporations and raise them on small businesses, small medium businesses. We can decrease taxes, just straight decrease taxes on large corporations. We can maintain the taxes for large corporations. We could increase the taxes on large corporations and keep them the same on small and medium. Some of them, you'll see, will give us bonuses and minuses. Like that will give us a +2 to the government budget. Or we could increase taxes on large corporations and balance it with a decrease in taxes on small businesses. That will increase the amount of government budget we have by 1. We're gonna do that.
You're making a mistake!
This is gonna have an outrageous effects down the road.
Enough! The President's made his decision! Well then, I have to take a note of our action. I'll put it to implementation as soon as possible. We'll be giving people some relief by enacting tax breaks for small and medium businesses, and there will be an increase for large corporation taxes, which will help us sustain our balance.
Simon organized the stack of papers he had in front and placed them back into his briefcase.
Well then, thank you everyone. This will be all for today.
Good work. No, I can say good work. No, I'm gonna say thanks, Simon. Thanks, Simon. Thanks for bringing this to my attention. They left the meeting room. I decided to stay a bit longer. I'm feeling good. There's not a lot of times as the president that I gotta make decisions that make me feel good. We're helping the small mom and pop companies, the medium-sized companies. There's gonna be a lot of them. That should help them survive this and maybe even grow. And then bringing in some more money from taxing the big corporations will hopefully help us with our deficit. I went by the windows again and kept watching the sea in silence for some more time. Oh my! So many things has happened! Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear! Maybe... Oh, I don't know if I want to look at them all. Let's look at the news first. Holston, immigration a threat to Sordland. Remus Holston, the deputy of the National Front Party, those are the ultra-righties, is raising alarm bells over the relaxed immigration policies. Yeah, we're not working very hard on preventing illegal immigration. I'll admit that. Moving on. Tax cuts for small and medium corporations. In order to end the recession, the administration has announced new changes to the tax system. As per information provided by the Ministry of the Economy, the new changes include a 10% tax cut, bringing the total to 25% for medium and small corporations. President Rayne has approved the tax reform, and changes are expected to come into effect immediately. I bet The Economist is not going to like that. Let's go see what their take is. Large corporation tax increases are uncalled for! They're all fainting into their silk handkerchiefs and their doilies. According to information we have received, the administration has decided to increase taxes for large corporations by 10% to a staggering 45%. I'll admit that's a lot. This comes as a part of the tax reforms to stop the recession. We have shown our analysis of the current economic situation many times. The result is clear. Large corporations bring in more money, and they're the reason the recession is not worse than it already is. Really? Because I see Gassam, a major employer, firing tons of people right now. This move serves only to weaken the backbone of our economy. I say the workers are the backbone of the economy. Let's move to the Lockhaven Times. Oh, I don't want to read that. Young Swords denies allegation. Somebody probably died. Vice President of the Young Swords made an announcement today denying ties to the terror attacks. The bombing, I or a cultural organization pose no threat to the national security of Sordland or to any other foreign country or state. We do not plan on engaging in acts of terror or violence. That could be a good sign. He also denied that the murder of Bernard Circus was working for the Young Swords, saying that the murderer was just a lost patriot who probably worked alone. Maybe this guy is full of bullshit, but if he's telling the truth, this is a step in the right direction. That they're saying no to terror, no to violence, and they're disowning the people who committed violence that were supposedly on their side. The vice president said he believes the authorities misunderstood his expressed desire to be a martyr for Sordland, which was written in the entrance of his office. Young Swords is not a terrorist organization and will not bow down to fake accusations without evidence, he said. Blaming a whole organization for the actions of an individual who was allegedly a member is absurd. Alright, they are trying to distance themselves from violence. Let's hope that continues. Torrent Hill School wins award. Why would I care? The National School Rankings have announced the results for the 1955 school metrics. Surprisingly, in the category of primary and secondary education, the Torrent Hill School has surpassed all others with the highest average results achieved in student performance, discipline, faculty's hygiene. These kids ain't dirty like the others. And staff happiness. The NSR committee gave an award to the principal. Education experts believe that the principal and the head teachers excelled in taking responsibility for their duties, which led to better performance in many aspects. Upon closer inspection, one editorial team found out about how much delegation occurred in the staff that even included diligent teenagers to improve and maintain the operations of the school. Oh my god. Wait, you know who's in charge of the school shit? Sierra. Did me sending Sierra back without any money, was she like, let's be like the Japanese where we have the students clean and have a sense of civil responsibility? Did Sierra, like, help us? Alright, let's move on to the radical. The Red Youth call for peace. So up until this point, the Red Youth and the Young Swords have been clashing, sometimes violently. The Young Swords are saying, hey, we don't want to be violent. And now the Red Youth are actively calling for peace? Earlier today, Johann Gazmisch, one of the leaders of the Red Youth, spoke to the public and condemned the opportunistic looting and violence taking place in cities across Sordland, saying it is not being done in the name of Bernard Circus. He denied terrorist allegations and condemned the attacks, saying the Red Youth has no connection to the violence. He accused the police of trying to sway the public opinion against socialism and legal Malvanius, that's communist, groups such as the Red Youth. Some people are trying to incite violence and take away the meaning of these peaceful protests, said Gazmisch, warning the protesters about inside people trying to exploit the situation. He also called for peace, saying that the justified and meaningful protests have already lost their course and started benefiting a select group of people. That is great! The two big sides that have been protesting and violent are turning towards peace. And in the geopolitique, Smolak threatens new military incursions targeting the BFF. Wayland, that's our neighbor to the west, President Viktor Smolak has threatened to launch military operations into northern Wayland, close to the borders of Sordland and Lesbia. against the Bludish rebel group, the BFF, which he considers to be a terrorist organization. Is that why he looks a little bit like Assad? Did they not want to go with Erdogan? As long as he doesn't attack into our territory, I don't know. We can't do anything about it, really. In a television interview, to curry support for next month's referendum to extend his presidential powers, Malak announced that the military is preparing a new internal operation, with possible cross-border implications against the BFF. Dude, you better not attack into our nation. Observers point out that a tough stance against the BFF, which is fighting for minority rights for the Blues, plays well with Wazik's nationalists. Smolak has pledged to eradicate the Bludish groups in Wayland, the Democracy Party of Wayland, and the militant organization, the Bludish Freedom Front, which is known to operate in Wayland and Sordland extensively. It is a problem for us too. The BFF is violent. Such operations are fraught with military risks and the possibility of further exasperating already tense relations among neighbors, particularly with Sordland, due to the large number of Bludish minority living close to the borders, as well as the Arcasian-backed lesbians. Despite some such risks, some analysts don't rule out such military operations. Alright, so there might be shit going on near a border. In fact, if we come out here, that's Wayland right there. And that's us right here. And there's Lesbia. Oh wait, there's news from Rumburg too? That might be saved for next episode. There's one last thing I want to check before we leave. And let's see what is new here. In the economy, you can see our tax breaks that we just passed. And how is it affecting things? Large corporations are downsizing more. Oh, they were before? Oh. Tax avoidance. Okay, that looks bad, right? Because it's in the orange. But prior to this, it was in the red. People were trying to avoid taxes. The country has taken steps to address the issue of tax evasion in many parts of society, but it still remains a significant problem. While progress has been made in reducing the level of tax avoidance, there are still many areas where individuals and businesses continue to evade taxes, resulting in loss of revenue for the government. So that's improving. It's not good. It was in the worst, and now it's better. The downsizing, that's a little rough. Small businesses are growing, though. All right. Man, you want to create jobs? Have small businesses find a way to be successful. The recent tax break has led to a surge of small business growth, resulting in an increase in job opportunities throughout Sordland. This economic stimulus has provided a much-needed boost to the country's struggling job market and has helped to promote sustainable economic growth. That's what we want to see there. Sustainable economic growth. That's the note we're leaving on. Ignore anything bad that happened. Sustainable growth. See you next time.